All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Drawing with Peter Draws, or whatever this is. Another episode of this. If you want to find more episodes of this, by the way, this is in a playlist, but this is where I draw, and you can watch, hang out. You can draw too if you want to, but have a piece of paper here, and there's nothing too fancy going on. I just want to draw. So I will. And it's not going to be a crazy drawing. It's probably going to take a few minutes, and but you can hang out if you want. And it's just going to be good. It's going to be good for all of us. So I hope you're having a good day today, or at least hopefully not a bad day. But if you are having a bad day, hopefully it improves soon. I have what it takes for my day to improve. I have a blank piece of paper and something to make marks on it with. So let's just hop right into it. Yeah, this is a Copic marker of some sort. I don't really know. I was going to use a Sharpie, but all the Sharpies I could find in my piles of stuff around here were just like these king-sized ones, which I didn't feel like using. So let's just do it. All right. That's a pretty good start. A little line right there. Let's do it like let's do a little circle over here. So I don't know what this drawing is going to be. It doesn't really have to be anything, but let's do, and then like one of these over here, like that. And yeah. Anyways, it's the weekend. I realize it might not be the weekend when you're watching this, but for me right now, it is the weekend. My life is a little bit weird in that I don't really have weekends. In that I can kind of take a weekend whenever I want, but I also kind of work on stuff almost every day. So it's kind of it's a loose structure for me, which I'm thankful for. I work best like that. I really do. Kind of just drawing some curvy wurvies here. And different people work better with different amounts of structure and rigor in their lives. Like some people need different. I don't know what I'm saying, but maybe you do. Like a 9 to 5 sort of thing. Like maybe if they didn't have someone saying that they need to be at the office. I don't think. Are there people that like? There probably are. There's always someone that likes something, But there probably are. Nobody probably loves having an office job, but as far as getting things done, accomplishing things, I would say just there's like looser and more free. I feel like I'm just talking about things I don't really understand, because I really only understand the way I work. I'm no psychologist, but I've seen the way other people work, and some people really just need they need more structure. I'm really just saying the same thing I said 5 minutes ago. Have I been filming for 5 minutes? I don't know. I've got I like making little accents with the dots here. I do like that. But maybe someone else. You guys probably understand what I'm saying better than I say it already. It's okay. At least, hopefully, at some point in your life, you start to gradually learn how you work best, how you accomplish things, the kind of ambiance, the kind of environment that you work best in, the how you get things done best, and you kind of strive to put yourself in those situations if you want to be productive. And it probably also depends on the kind of things you want to produce. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Doesn't really matter what I talk about. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I forgot I had coffee. It's fresh. Oh, you know, the first sip can either be amazing or it can be a little bit too hot. I'll let you know in a second. It was pretty good. I was about to say great, and then I was going to say good, but then I said good. Perfect. It was almost too hot, but then I've taken enough of those sips that were too hot that if I think if you take enough of those sips that are too hot, then you can't take any of them anymore because your mouth is you've burned all the nerve endings off of your tongue and the roof of your mouth. It's just all over at that point. Taste buds can grow back, nerve endings cannot. That's a scientific fact I just made up. Let me know if you want some more of those. Draw a line up here to this little thing. Kind of an organic doodle we've got going right here. All right, here's a little an art tip for you. I'll hit you with one. I'm not really an art teacher. Like, I feel like if I was, people are like, Peter, please come be my art teacher or whatever. I don't know if I could really be an art teacher. I feel like art teachers have to have like, maybe, I don't know. I never went to art class. I don't know what art classes are like in like school and stuff. But I feel like, do art teachers have to have lesson plans and stuff, projects for people? My problem is I don't like telling people what to draw or how to draw it. I feel like they at least do that. They give some sort of instruction or projects. I guess it's good to give some instruction, some direction, at least some direction. People don't, I know the feeling of not knowing what to draw. I've kind of overcome it because I can just make myself draw. I can make myself start drawing even if I don't know what to draw. Maybe I could help people learn how to do that. I don't know. But if I was an art teacher, and I'm sure many art teachers do give this same instruction, and it's something I see a lot when people say, Peter, how can I improve this? And lots of times people share, they send me their drawings and they say, Peter, any tips? And my first tip is something I don't usually say. I usually just tell everyone, it looks good, keep it up, because I just want them to keep drawing. That's the best thing you can do is just keep drawing. If you like drawing, keep doing it, right? That's what I want them to do. The second tip is something that I want to give them, but I never do because I don't know how to say it without sounding like snarky and mean or sarcastic. And the second thing I want to say is don't ask people for tips on how to draw. But because I feel like I never, this probably because already I feel like I'm asking. I feel like I'm sounding like arrogant and mean or something. But like I feel like I never asked people. Maybe it just comes down to different ways of learning, and different people do have different ways of learning. I just don't know. But I never asked people. The only people I ever asked how to draw I never asked people how to draw, but the only people I ever asked if my drawings were good or not were my parents, and that was just because I was just like natural son showing his parents his drawings because he wants his parents' love or something. I don't know what that was, but like there's something about art where you just got to do it for yourself because you love drawing, you love art, you love making it, and you love making it for making it, not because. And I know a lot of people show me their art because, like, I don't know, they look up to me as an artist or something. They like my art. They just want a response from me. Maybe it'd be the same thing if they just said hi and I said hi back. I don't know. Anyways, I don't like telling people how to draw. I don't like it when people tell me how to draw or what to draw. But coming back around to this, if I was going to give you one tip on how to draw, if I was going to, one thing I see in a lot of artists, up and coming artists, little drawings, stuff like that, is that when you're drawing your lines, one thing you don't want to do, coffee, is draw your lines in a bunch of sketchy little lines like this. Because it looks, I see it happen. You can tell the lines are drawn sketchy and a bunch of small little strokes thrown together like that. Did you see how I did that? Instead of, when I draw my lines, I draw them like this. Can you hear my air conditioning? And I'm sure a lot of art teachers tell their students this. And you can, I'm not saying what you have to do. You can draw your art however you want. I'm sure there's famous artists that for millions of years have drawn their lines, sketchy little lines like that. You can do whatever you want. But I think if you want a piece of advice, that's probably what I would give. And I think it would help to accomplish a thing. It would help you move towards some neatness if you want that neatness. I'm not saying you have to, that neatness is mandatory. Because that's one thing that bothers me about certain types of advice that people give. Like when people ask for advice on like art forms and stuff, then people like, they say, look at my drawing, what do you think? And then people chime in saying, well, you need to work on depth and perspective and this and that and that. And I'm like, you can have like great art without depth and perspective, and you can invoke emotions and convey ideas without all sorts of these things, as long as you can still do amazing things. I mean, who's that guy I look like? People always say I look like right now when I have my hair short. I mean, it's depth and perspective, contrast. These are all very powerful, useful things. But you can't just like automatically say, this is what is needed in a drawing. I wouldn't even say it has to be neat. It doesn't have to be careful. A lot of powerful art is quick and, and emotive. And it's just like pushed onto the page. It catches the emotion of the painter, the artist, quicker that way. I can never remember that artist's name that I look like. He has slightly bigger glasses than me. He did those big paintings of like, they look kind of like cave paintings, to be honest. He died at a young age. But look, I think the main thing that you should pursue when you do your art is that you do whatever you want. And that's not as easy as it sounds, unfortunately, because a lot of the time, what I like, for me at least, what I want from my art is something very abstract, and it's hard, I don't know exactly what I want from my art. I'm still trying to figure that out daily. It's easier said than done, truly. So I know it's nice to ask people, what do you think about this art? What should I do to make it better? Any tips? But you are the best person you can ask. If you like doing art, making it, if you have an urge, to do it, then why ask other people, when they probably have something else entirely. They don't have your vision. They have a different vision. And there's exceptions to all of this, of course. There's advice. There's always advice you can get on technique, especially for drawing figures, and if you do want to learn to do something specific like, portraiture and perspective and vanishing points, those like specific techniques and stuff, whatever. What I'm saying is, don't ask other people how to do your art. And sometimes people will try to tell you how to do your art when you don't even ask. You gotta be careful. They'll give you very good-natured advice about how to do your art. So be careful. Mm-hmm. It's all up to you. Anyways, that was weird. My camera messed up. I don't know how much it didn't record. Weird. It literally said on the screen, movie recording has been stopped automatically. Who does that? Thanks for nothing. That's the last thing I want. I want movie recording to continue automatically until I manually stop it. Anyways, I know some of you, I hear it all the time, have been in artistic dry spells, having a bit of artist block. And I'm sorry about that. But, I mean, it happens. You can, I mean, sometimes even while you're still creating stuff, you still feel like you're in a dry spell, artist block of sorts. Like I have a friend who is still making things, but she says she's been like still making things for years, and still she insists that she's been in a dry spell for years, and just maybe she's remembering back to her glory days or something. I don't know. it's a difficult feeling, not like your artistic juices. You don't feel like they're flowing like they could. You're always feeling like you're on the edge of a bunch of things all at once, but not quite getting there. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to do about it either. There's one thing, there's a difference between being able to physically draw something on paper like I'm doing right now and really being able to flesh out some ideas that resonate with you. I guess that's what's a really good feeling. That's what you really want. I don't know if I ever really get it. Usually with me feels like the ideas that I get out and the things I usually like are the ones that most people end up ignoring the most. But that's how it is. You just got to do it for you. You can't expect people to understand what you're working on as much as you understand it. Just keep putting stuff out there. People might listen. People might pay attention. They might not. But if you're doing it only so that people will listen, I don't know, maybe that is the point of some art, to get people to listen to what you're doing, but maybe the point of most art, I feel like, is the creation of it. I don't know. Art has a lot of different varied purposes. It's a strange thing. I don't understand it at all. I just like doing it. The little bit that I do. Careful curvy lines. Like when I drew this line right here, and like I never knew that I was gonna draw this line up here. I like leaving some little parts unfinished, and then later, without knowing where it's gonna meet up with anything later, and then drawing other parts and kind of bringing it all together. Yep. I like markers, but they always kind of stress me out because the tips slowly get malformed no matter how gentle you are with them. And so the whole time I'm using them, in the back of my mind, that's there. And I can't fully enjoy it because I know that I'm slowly destroying this, and there's a grim end approaching. Where it's at some point I will have to put down the marker, not use it anymore, because the lines it makes will be kind of fuzzy and not crisp anymore. And I like me some crisp lines. I do. I like fuzzy lines on occasion too. I mean, I can get down with some fuzzy lines. It's just I don't want fuzzy lines when I'm trying to make crisp ones, is all. I want to know what I'm getting into. Kind of feeling the flow of the drawing, drawing, drawing. It's okay to say sometimes. You don't have to be non-stop drawing. You can step back and say You can do that. It's not a race. Don't rush yourself. The only time you should rush to finish a piece of art is if it's some sort of like art assignment and you've got a deadline. Other than that, there's like no rush. It's art. It should be the most unrushed thing in the world. Unless you've got like a crazy idea in your head you're like barely hanging on to. And you just gotta get it on the paper before it slips away. Maybe you should rush then. But once you got it on the paper, I don't know, maybe redo it. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people, some people's art suffers because they're rushing. There's no rush. It's art, you know. Maybe you're, unless it and some people, you know, that's where it gets difficult if art is your livelihood, if you're getting paid by it, because then you think you've got to pump out the pieces because you get paid like for each one, kind of. But then maybe you get paid more for each one if you slow down. Maybe not, though. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes people like the ones you spent 5 minutes on more than the ones you spent 5 hours on. It's very unpredictable what will resonate with other people. It's completely unpredictable, actually. Just because you spent a lot of time on something doesn't mean it's automatically good art. I was drawing this line, I was trying to draw it straight. I was drawing with my whole arm, but then like my arm got like caught on the table or something. And now it's like not as straight as I wanted. It like started wobbling. It's got a little bit of wobble to it. Nothing is perfect anyways. These look like weird golf clubs. See, now I just did the same thing in the middle of all of them, and it looks more intentional. Nobody, unless you're watching, nobody was watching. Now nobody knew that I made a little mistake right there, even. So everything's fine. There is no mistake. And then cue the obligatory Bob Ross quote about happy accidents. I don't know, but it's okay. I'm pretty happy with this. It's a fun little doodle. Nothing too crazy. Go ahead and spend 30 minutes. This is a little weird right here. I like it. I enjoyed it. All right. It's hard to stop sometimes. You keep on. You can still can always see like a bunch of new little places where you can put little details and little snippets and blips. But it's okay. It's okay to walk away. You can always just start the next drawing, which is an exciting thing to do. Well, here's to the next drawing. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you're all had a good time and have a good rest of your day. Check out the rest of the videos in this playlist. There's more like this, and take it easy. Goodbye.